Hi, hello and welcome to your Blends Club for January 2020. Wow, gone really quick. So this month the colours that we are using are Granny Apple Green Dark, Balmy Blue Light, Soft Seafoam Light and Crumb Cake Dark. Okay, and then added to that you're going to need your ivory and your colour lifter, which you got way back when at the beginning of this club. So those are the colours we're going for. These are the cards that you will be making, okay, but obviously yours will be different images if you didn't get the Beautiful Moments stamp set. Okay, so these are the stamps with Beautiful Moment. It is a gorgeous stamp set. Personally, I think it's lovely for anyone who's got grandkids or a daughter who's got children, or just ladies in general, to be honest. And the words aren't too bad. Thinking of you, collect beautiful moments. I like that one. You're somebody's blessing, which is true for children, isn't it? So yeah, so there you go. So that's the stamp set. But if you don't have that, obviously you just replace the images with whatever you have. Also in your kit, you're going to get some of these little designer elements. And then you will have the following. So you'll have, for your blue card, you'll have a circle, stitch circle, die cut scallop circle, and then a small blue, a large yellow and a blue card base. Okay, so that's for that one. Oops. And then you'll have for the other one a tiny stitch circle, one of the new rectangles from Stitch So Sweetly, a small blue, a large white and a yellow card base. Okay, small blue, large white. So yeah, so that's what you need, but all the stamping and everything's just going to happen on the white bits. So I'm just going to do those. Normally, oh, and then you'll get some of this gorgeous ruched Daffodil Delight ribbon. So I went for Daffodil Delight even though it wasn't in your kit of colours, just because I think it adds a boost, it lifts it slightly. So to do your stamping, I'm going to just bring in my, oops, I'm just going to have to bring in this, I'm afraid, so hopefully it's not too bad on your old eyes, but we do need to do some colouring and I don't want to get it all over my table, so I'm going to do it this way, because we do go quite deep with these in some places. So the lady in the dress with the flowers, I mean any person with flowers on them or anything like that would be good. You know, it doesn't have to be this particular one, but I just thought it made a beautiful, a really nice sort of central piece. So we're going to talk draping and we're going to talk flicking as well, which is another colouring technique. So there she is, looking lovely. And then we have these little additional flowers. I'm kind of thinking they're lupins or foxgloves or something like that, or lavender possibly. And I actually stamped this 3 times, so I sort of stamped it once up here, oops, and then I cut it out afterwards. So this time you're going to be stamping it actually on the thing, but that's okay. Just roughly like that, doesn't really make much difference. Just have a little bit of floral. It could be a whole flower, could be something like that. You're going to add the little tiny butterfly up here for the lady. So cute. Love the little butterfly. And then we're going to stamp the 2 big children here on this circle. And the good thing about a circle is that it doesn't matter which way round up you are, because it's a circle, so it'll just go right at some point. There we go. Okay, so once you've got your images stamped, just leave them to dry for a moment, and then we're going to start the colouring. Move these out of the way. So for the lady, I started with her ivory for her face, for her arms. She hasn't got a face on this one. Oh, for her arms. So literally straight down her arms, no real colouring as such to start off with. And then you go back in for the elbow, under the arm, down the side, again underneath here and at the base of her hands, because that will be quite dark, a bit darker. Not so much on the top of her shoulder, so you just get that slight shading going on there. Now I've done the crumb cake in all cases for hair, because it's a good hair colour, and I just followed the line of the waves. You're going to want to go back in, do a few more bits underneath, make it a little darker in places, just to give a bit of tone really. I mean it has lovely movement anyway, just because of the way that the stamp has been designed, but you just make sure you just always have a little bit of toning going on when you're doing your hair. And then the dress I've done in soft seafoam, so long sweeps, and I've come up and I've not really been too worried about going over some of the flowers, because we know that with our blends we can go over colours and they will just change colour. So just along with a sweep and then go back in with the thinner end and do her bows, a little bit of darkness under the hair, just to try and get that 3D shape going. Around the edges, just putting a little bit of that shadowing in. And this time I'm flicking, I'm not doing the whole circular motion. It just depends on how the image sort of grabs you, but sometimes a flicking motion is better to add depth. Just go with the image that you've got really. There we go. Alright, now what I did do is I then took my soft seafoam and I went all the way around the edge of the girl, just to lift her off the edge of the, and it doesn't matter that the soft seafoam is also the colour of her dress, that doesn't matter, bit inside there too. It just lifts her and gives her a bit of 3D motion going on. Now with the flowers, I went in, and the butterfly as well, I think I did blue, yes I did. Went in with the blue, just every single little piece, blue, 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 and then you hang on a minute and then you go back in again, and this adds depth. And as I say, you're going over what's on the dress, so don't worry about that too much. It'll overtake, especially because it's soft seafoam, it'll overtake that really easily. Okay, and this, even though this is the light, going back in again, as we know, adds more depth. There we go. Excellent. And then the final part of that is the flicking, like as I said. So for this you use the long end and you're just flicking the tip to create your flowers. You can do up, you can do down, but you're creating these stems basically just by flicking your colour on. So it's a different way of using, because you don't normally, normally we say, oh, don't use the tip of this, but it's very light. Can you see? Extremely light. You could do the same on this one, but we're going to do the blue first, obviously, otherwise it doesn't look right. So do your blue flowers all the way. I've gone quiet again because I'm colouring. And it might seem fiddly, oh, I've got to do every single little flower, but it really does make a difference. If you miss one, you can really tell. And go back in. But funnily enough, if you add one, it doesn't seem to matter. So don't worry if you do accidentally just put in some extra blue somewhere. So that doesn't seem to be it doesn't seem to worry so much about that. It's only when you miss one it looks out of place. Very odd. something to do with the eyes. Okay, and then again we're going to go with this flicking motion. So it's extremely, I don't know how easy it is for you to see this, but it's extremely gentle, hardly touching the pen to the paper. Because if you can get that control and that movement, then you're not damaging your pen, and you're just adding a beautiful flick of colour, and that works really nicely when you're doing flower centres. There we go. Alrighty. So that's that. I might just go a little bit higher up, and if you want to, you can go back in. If you want to say, oh, actually I really want to define those stems, then you can go back in and define them with the, but see the difference, it makes a much bigger stem if you go in with your blunt tip than it does if you flick. So there we go, that's those two done, and then you just put her together with some dimensionals and then some dimensionals, and then I just popped this little silver piece right at the front here, just added another lift to that. And then for the children, we haven't got any sea because I didn't have a, you know, we've only got brown, so they're going to be walking through some muddy sand, but that's okay, and you're literally just following the lines on the beach, as it were. Okay, and then the hair, actually I might as well do the hair one here. Again, follow the lines, because this is it's like a watercolour drawing. It's not, it's an outline-ish drawing. It's not specifically everything really detailed, but you can definitely add in your details. Remember your dots, you can dot on to add extra, and you know she's going to be darker under here, a bit lighter on top. So there we go, add some, she's definitely going to be lighter on this section here on the back of the head where the sun's shining, so do that. And then some ivory for the face, and the face comes right the way around. This is her neck, so again you want to do some bit more dark lines there, straight down her arms, join her sister, straight down here, straight down here, and then the legs, and then we're going to go back in and add that shading, because we all know there's shading underneath clothing, for example. So bottom of the arm, under the elbow, just add a little bit there, same on the other side, bit on the bottom of the hand, bottom of the hand under the armpit. Okay, and then under the dress and under the ball of the foot. So under the dress, under the foot, and this way you get the feeling like they're, you know, they're 3D people and they're actually moving, walking, playing. One of the dresses I did in blue, so I did this larger dress in blue, and again sweeping motion down with your large tip pen, and then you can go back in with your blunt tip, and again I just followed the lines underneath, around the back here and underneath here, because this is in shadow from her body. Does that make sense? There we go. She really starts to come alive with her 3D. And then I put the smaller girl in the soft seafoam, and for this one again exactly the same really. I love doing colouring of clothes because there's so much movement in them. Now the soft seafoam is quite a light colour, so I just went over it a few times with the larger end just to darken it up a bit, and then I went in with my bullet tip to do the actual shading. Oh, I've I've lost another light. Okay, it's not too bad. I've nearly done anyway, so I'm sorry I've run out of batteries. Oh dear. Hopefully you can still see. Let's move this one. Oh. Hopefully that works. Okay. Okay, so then I did, oh, missed her shoulder. So then I did her buckets, both of the buckets, and I did this in the Granny Apple Green to get a nice vibrant colour to start off with. Again, darker on the edges underneath, leaving a lighter bit in the middle. Same with this. Darker behind her dress. Lighter and then darker again. And then I went over with soft sea foam in the centre, just to darken that down. And then I went over with soft sea foam in the centre just to lighten this up. And you'll start to see that lighten up. Okay, and it reacts and then comes out. And then what I did was I went all the way around all of them with the soft sea foam. It just lifts them off the paper. And so I just wanted to show you could do it with any colour. So you can do it with Pool Party, you could do it with Smoky Slate, that works nicely, all the way around. You can also do it with obviously soft sea foam or anything quite light, and it's just lifts them off. So there you go, and then you pop her up, pop those girls up on the scallop circle, tie your ribbon round. I did a blessing, You're Somebody's Blessing from the set, and then the little trinket on the side. So there we go. Didn't actually go through on that, which is good, but you can see the buckets and the dresses on the back here. This one not so much, didn't go through quite so much, but a little bit on her dress and her head. So that's your blends tutorial for this month, and I hope you enjoy playing with these colours. Luckily I didn't need the colour lifter, but you never know when you're going to need it, so always have it with you. But yes, I hope you liked these colours and the inclusion of the ivory from your stash. So there you go. So that's your cards this month. I would love to see what you do with your creations over in Creative Corner. And yeah, so load them up or send them to me. I can load them up, and then we can share all the stuff that we're doing with our Blends Club. Alrighty, take care for now. Thanks for watching and thanks for being part of the Blends Club this month. Cheers, bye.